What's up, YouTube? Gen X. This is a very, very important conversation um, for me because I do preach academics and I do preach it as pretty much the only tool that we really have, right? Now, like I said before, I understand that college isn't for everybody and that nothing is guaranteed, but what's your alternative? It's just like going out to eat. Everybody's hungry, and somebody says, hey, let's go to Burger King, and people are like, no, the food is not good, it may be closed, this, that, and the third, but no one's coming up with an alternative. Okay, so where do you want to go? How else are we going to fulfill our hunger? And people have nothing to say, right? Um, and like I said before, yeah, college doesn't guarantee you anything, but the same people who are telling you college doesn't work are people who didn't go or people who made poor choices. Once again, in the black community, we're off. We think that simply going to college means that you achieved a certain level of success. You've already went from A to Z. No. In terms of being successful and being financially stable, going to college, if you're going from A to Z, going to college is like going to like M or N, right? You still have to go, to P all the way up to Z. So that's like the halfway point. Some may say it's even a little bit before the halfway point. It's like the second quarter, right? But some people act as if going to college means that you won the NBA championship, but in reality, all it really means is that you made the playoffs. You're not even like at a number one seed. You're like the 8th seed who barely made it in. They had the tiebreaker. So you have those people. Now, I especially get upset when, people that come on and they have went to college will say, you don't necessarily need your degree, and I'm not even using my degree. And I always beg to differ, because there are certain jobs that you may want to apply to, and this is fucked up and it's shallow, but they're not even going to look at your application unless you have a college degree. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes it's just used as a filter. I'm going to keep it 100% with you. I know people who hire and they fire. They're not necessarily the business owners, but they take part in the hiring and firing of people. And they'll tell you, the position that we're looking for, quite frankly, we can get a high school kid to come in and do, right? But we need some sort of filter. I can't have a job that's, a secretary or something like that and have 10,000 applications. It's too much to go through. So we simply may say you need your AA or you need your BA. It doesn't matter in what. You just need one, right? Because I'm not trying to go through 10,000 applications. I'd rather go through 5,000 or 4,000 applications. So you have degrees that work for you in that capacity, and it sucks, but that's just what you need to do to get over. It's not fair. It really doesn't make any sense, and it shouldn't be that way, but that's how the world works. And when you don't have any power, what do you have to do? Shut up and play the game. When you're trying to make the team, what do you have to do? Hustle. Do all the bitch work, right? You're diving on the floor. It is what it is. So in that regard, a degree by itself will help you out by default. Because when you go for those jobs that you may need to get over, or just, you need some sort of employment, and they're only looking at people who have a degree, doesn't matter in what, you are at least going to make the cut. You will at least have the opportunity to be considered. And that has to be understood. Because fairness and crime, yeah, you make perfect sense, and I agree with you. It's not going to get you a job. It's not going to help you pay the bills, whether you went to college or not, right? So that has to be understood. It will instantly help you, right? Also, all degrees are not equal, and I think that's what I'm going to title the video. All degrees, once again, are not equal, and black people have, I don't want to say a bad habit, but we are very limited in what we choose to major in. Even when we go to grad school, even if you go to get your PhD, it doesn't, getting the piece of paper doesn't equate to you having a level of expertise in your field. And it doesn't mean that the field or the area that you got your degree in is a degree that will make you money. So that has to be understood. But we as black people, we'll get a degree and we'll feel like it's supposed to work for us. And to be real with you, there's certain degrees that maybe can do that for you, and there's certain degrees that won't do it for you. But I get sick and tired of people who want to come on and say that going to school was a waste of time and I'm working in a field that I didn't go to school for. And it's like, okay, well, what did you major in? And it's, communications or liberal studies or something to that effect. And I'm like, well, your degree by itself doesn't really help you. It's not the same as getting, let's say, a degree in engineering, okay, or a degree in mathematics. And most of the time, it's really in the math and sciences that you can take your BA or your BS, or even your AA, depending on the program, and go into the field and start working. But as far as everybody else, your degree alone isn't going to help you, right? I mean, I know too many people who complain about college was a waste of time. They were a liberal studies major, or they were a communications major, or a philosophy major, or a history major. Struggled through school, got poor grades, so they didn't even have a decent GPA, have no work experience, but then will graduate and say that college was a waste of time. You have to know what your major is going to fetch you and what you have to do to offset that. I didn't have a degree in math or science. So I already knew that my degree alone wasn't going to help me. Okay? So you know what I did? And mind you, I didn't even have a decent GPA at all. My GPA was piss poor. But you know what I had? I had a work experience. Actual, practical work experience in the field that I wanted. So when I went to the interview to get into my teacher credential program and to get into my grad program, obviously my GPA was going to come up. But when it came time to talk about my actual work experience in the field that I wanted, actual verifiable, not even the internship, I'm working for them. And you can call them. I know them personally. Right? It was enough. So I didn't even get in on that whole provisional, probationary sort of, we'll see how things go. They were like, man, we need more people like you. Because I understood that my degree alone wasn't going to cut it. I had to offset that. Now, I had friends who were engineering majors where not even 4 or 5 years, some even 6. All they did was schoolwork. They didn't necessarily work and have the jobs like I did because they didn't have to offset their degree, because the type of degree that they had, what they were learning was a direct carryover. So they were learning stuff that you can actually apply. Okay, so you put the time and effort into it, you get the good GPA, and you can get out and get a job. Right? I don't even know if it's like that nowadays, but I remember, before, I started off as an engineering major, and we had a mentor program, and I was meeting people who were like, yeah, I just graduated, and I'm making 80K, I'm making 90K. I don't know what's happened with the market, if it's still like that, but they were making that sort of money out of school because they learned tools that actually carried over. But if you're a communications major or a liberal arts major or some history major, your degree is not going to cut it alone. So you have to understand how you want to use it, okay? And you have to figure out how to offset or supplement your degree with maybe getting an internship, maybe getting some sort of work experience, or doing something And that has to be understood. I just get sick and tired of people who want to come on and talk, oh, college is a waste of time, and I have all these degrees, and it don't mean anything. Yeah, because you didn't take the time to understand what your degree could do for you, and you didn't do enough to supplement your degree. It's as simple as that, right? Because I know people who didn't have engineering degrees or some sort of degree in math and science, and they're doing pretty well, right, in terms of when they graduated and even where they are now, because they offset that, and they have all the work experience that they will ever need. So when it comes time to why do you want to be here, they can actually say, yeah, I got the degree, but don't worry too much about that. You know, that's the technicality, right? But let me tell you about the time I spent interning for this company, or the time I spent working for this Fortune 500. And that's what they hold on to. But black people, we don't do that. We don't. You know, let alone we're not in the math and the sciences, right? And that's not even the big issue. The more issue, the bigger issue is that we don't do enough to supplement those sort of degrees, right? So you'll have other people who have the same sort of degree in communication or journalism, and for whatever reason, they seem to have a better job, and black people are running to racism. But, you know, Debbie, who was a journalism major, she was, you know, writing for this paper and that little, you know, startup paper. Okay, she may not have been making money, or she was, you know, getting a little chump change here and there, but she was actually doing something. So apart from just showing up and saying that I have a degree in journalism, can somebody give me work? Debbie actually had, you know, a resume. I've actually written before. You know, I proofread, or I did this and that. I don't know how the world of journalism works. I wrote about this. You know, I work for this online newspaper or whatnot. They can actually come on and talk about it. Even now with blogging, you know, I have my own blog, and I've ran it for, you know, 3 years. You can look at what's going on. I have X amount of viewers, and I've been mentioned here. You can Google me. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that people are doing but black people aren't doing. So I cringe when people want to come on and throw, you know, just having a degree, it's not going to do anything. Yeah, it's not, depending on what you have. So for all my younger cats, or even my people who are in college right now, I don't care what race you are, stop right now, do the research into the degree that you're getting, and figure out how it's going to fare for you, you know, how it's going to work for you upon graduation. Is it enough to rely on by itself, or do you think you need to supplement that? And if you're not sure, talk to a counselor, talk to somebody who's working in the field that you may want to be in eventually. You can even email me or ask me directly, and I'll, you know, if I have the time, I'll say, hey, I don't really know, or, you know, I can check for you, and I'll get back to you, so that you're not wasting your time. Because once again, I get sick and tired when, you know, you have black people who act as if going to college is the Z, and they've made it to Z and nothing's happened, so therefore college is a big waste of time, or it's not that effective. No, college isn't the end. It's not the top of the mountain. You're at, you know, mid-level, right, or just below mid-level, and your work is just beginning. So anyways, let me stop it there. Y'all take it easy. I have, you know, yeah, I'm going to do the other part in another video, because I want to keep this under 15 minutes. I don't want to continue to refer people to Gen X. I want to have both videos on YouTube and Gen X, so I got to practice keeping everything under 15 minutes, so I'm going to end it right here. So let me know what you have to say. If you have any questions, come on. I got people on my channel who like me, who don't even like me, who are in all sorts of fields, have all sorts of experience, and they'll be more than willing to come on and tell you what's going on with them in their world, so you don't feel like you're wasting your time in college, or that you don't need to go to college. So take advantage of the resources that you have. Y'all be easy. God bless.